Hey everyone, welcome back again to the next video, and in this video we're going to be solving a new question from Leetcode, and it's a very famous question, that is word break. It's a very famous question of dynamic programming, and this question has been asked in many of the companies, and we're going to be just taking a look at how exactly we have to build the intuition for this question and how we have to just make a story around this particular question based on the problem statement, and we can put that into the code structure. So the question is pretty much like is a little bit tricky, but at the same time it's an easy question. Just if you get the logic, then you will be able to easily just convert that into the code. So first of all, let's try to understand the problem statement, what it is trying to say and what exactly it is asking in return. So basically there is a string and there is a word dictionary which is given to us, and the string is basically in such a way that it's just a single word, and using that particular string you have to break that into the words which are present inside of this dictionary. If you are able to convert all the characters given in the string to the words which are present inside of this dictionary, then you have to return the output as a true, otherwise it's going to be the false. So from the example you can see that this is Leetcode which is given to us, and you can break this particular leet plus code, and these two words are basically present inside this dictionary, and that's the reason you are returning the true. And there is also a condition which is given to us that the same word in the dictionary may be reused multiple times. That means if basically let's take a look into the second example that's going to explain this particular point, that apple, pen, apple. This is the next string which is given to in the example 2, and this is the dictionary which is given to us, that is apple and pen. So there are only two words present inside of this dictionary this time, but at the same time you can use the same word again and again. That is, apple can be used 2 times. That's the reason we are able to get that string of ours. That means this string which is given to us, apple, pen, apple, that means apple is coming 2 times, and you are able to use that apple word present in the dictionary for 2 times, and you are able to convert that string. That complete string has to be used. Every single character of that particular string has to be used in order to get that word which is present in the dictionary. So let's take a look into the third example, and that's how we will be able to see the case wherein the false is coming in return. So basically the string is given to us as cats, cats and dog. So see over here the words which are given to us, there are many words which are given to us: cats, dogs, sand, and cat. So the thing is that over here, if you will see that if you will try to use all the characters of this particular string, then you won't be able to get all the words. That means over here, let me just type this down over here, and that's how it can be better understood. So the string which is given to us is cats and OG. So over here, if you'll try to make the words which are present, so you can definitely make the first word which is cats, and if you have created the first word as cats, then you will be having the next word as dog. So how many characters has been used? You have used the cats and you have used the dog. So now only 2 characters which are left now is an. So using an, you won't be able to create any other word which is present inside of the dictionary. So that's the reason the answer is false, because you have not been able to use all the characters which is in the string, and you're not able to get all the words which are present. Though you will be able to get the words if you will be rearranging the string over here. You can just make a use of cat that is present inside of the dictionary, but at the same time if you will be using the next as the sand, then you will be left with OG. That means you have used characters, but you are not able to use all the characters. You are not able to get all the words. You are not able to use all of the characters. That's the reason you have to return the output as false. Okay, so now that we have got the problem statement, we just have to use the thinking power so as to convert this whole thing into the logic, so that we can get that, because at the end we have to write the code, right? Like, it's just that whatever the way you are thinking, you have to put that into the logic, and you have to put that in the code. So first of all, let's try to understand, like as a layman language, how exactly we have to approach this particular code, this particular problem statement. So the thing is that, just imagine for a case that you have been given the word as Leetcode, right? And you have to check whether you are able to create any kind of a word using these characters or not. So how you will be approaching that, like just as a layman words, the very first thing, the brute force kind of a thinking, how exactly you have to approach the problem. So just imagine for a case that this dictionary which is given to you, word dictionary, which is having so many words, like just imagine for an instance, like there are so many words present inside of this dictionary. That means there is a pool of words which is given to us. So whatever the kind of words that you are able to create out of this particular string, you just have to check that whether that particular word, like which you're trying to create from the characters which are given to you, whether that particular word is present inside this pool or not. That's what you have to think about. So how you can do that? Just if there is a string of a stream which is coming to you, if you have to create the words out of it, then how you're going to be approaching that? You will be starting from the very first character, that is, you will be starting from the first character, that is L. Whether this L is a word, yeah, definitely itself, single character itself is a word. You can try to take a look, right? Whether you are able to, whether this L is present in the pool of words or not. That's what you can check, right? Next is, the next thing that you will check is, you will be going to the next character, that is LE. Then one by one you will be proceeding further, right? So one by one, when you will be proceeding, then what are the cases which are getting created? Firstly, you will be checking from the L, then you will be checking from the LE, then you will be checking from LEE, then you will be checking for LEET. So these are the possible cases which are getting formulated over here. Okay, so the next kind of an arrangement that you will be checking is starting from the next character. Like firstly, you're just taking a look from the very first index, that is starting from the L, and the next thing that you can take a look is that if the words are getting created from the next character, that is from E, then next will be like EE, and the next will be like EET. So that means there are so many different possible arrangements which are coming, and at the same time that the starting index is getting changed. That means you'll be starting from the L, that is going to be the first case, and also at the same time then there is going to be an iteration that will be possible from the E, then after that the next E, then from the T, then from the C. So that means the starting index is going to get changed every single time. It's just that there is going to be a parallel sub problems. That means firstly, like one by one from all possible characters, you will be trying to create the words, like whether the word is possible or not. And it's just that you have to make the use of all the characters, and you have to try to make all the different possible words starting from the first index. Your first index is going to something which is going to get changed every single time. You will be trying to create all the possible situations, right? So that's what the whole logic is all about, and that's what exactly you have to do in order to check for the words. So just like I mentioned, that this is going to be the pool of words that wherein you will be trying to create the words from the given string, and you will be checking that inside this particular dictionary. So like I mentioned, that it's going to be the pool, because there is also condition which is given to us that you can use the words multiple times. That means if imagine for an instance, this example 1 is going to be like Leetcode leet, means like leet is coming for 3 times, and then also it's going to be the true, because leet can be used multiple times, right? It's just that you have to make the use of all the characters which are present in the string, right? So that means you can think of it as a set, because inside of the set you have to only, so this is like that kind of a data structure wherein you can have distinct values, means, right, if even the leet is coming like for 2 times, then also we can make a use of it. It's just that you have to check that whether that is present inside of that pool or not. And if we have to let's try to just write down the code, and based on that we'll try to see that how exactly this can be better understood. So the very first thing that we have to do is that there is a dictionary which is given to us, that is the list of string, right? So you have to make a use of the set, and I will call this as pool of words. This is going to be my hash set. This is going to just simply solve the purpose, just to make the things easy for us. And this is going to be the string. Okay, so this is the very first thing that we have done so far. And what is the next thing that we have to do? We have to create a helper method wherein we are going to do our, and where we are going to put our logic into the execution. So definitely we have to return something as in the boolean. So that means we are going to be having this helper method that's going to return our answer in boolean. Okay, so what do we need to do inside of this helper method? Just try to think that, like, whatever that we have discussed so far, we have to just make a use of it. We'll be starting from the first index of this particular string. That means I definitely need my string over here, which is given to me. And also there is going to be an index that's going to be used, because we're going to be starting from the first index to the last, and we're going to be trying to create the words one by one, starting from first index till the last of the string. Okay, what is the next thing that we have to? We have to definitely make the use of our pool of words, because one by one, when we'll be creating the words of this particular string, we have to make a check whether that particular word that we have created using those characters is there inside of this pool of words or not, right? So this pool of words is nothing but my set of string. Okay. So what's going to the base condition? The base condition is going to be like, if my index is basically reached to the last location, then definitely I have to get stop. I don't want to proceed further, right? So this is going to be s dot length. And if I've reached to the last location, definitely I have to return the value as true. Alright, so now that we have defined our base condition, we have to write down the logic that we want to create so as to get the final answer. So the base condition is pretty simple. It's just that if we have reached the last location of this particular string, then that means I have to just return to the true value. Alright, so now that we have discussed that, we just have to make the use of this whole string which is given to us. So we'll be starting from the first index, right? So from the first index, that means that's going to be my first location wherein I'll be trying to start making the words. So I'll be iterating over this particular string, and how I'm going to be iterating is that, so this is going to be my end index, and how exactly that's going to happen is, I will explain this particular part. So just think for an instance, single character is definitely going to be my word. That is something definitely possible. So I'll be starting from the first index. Okay. So how I'm going to be doing is, I will just write down this particular condition first, and then I will explain you. So this end is going to be s dot length equals So over here, we just want to capture the characters of this particular string which is given to us. And how we're going to be doing it? We're going to be creating a dummy check which is going to take the substring. And that is going to start from the index value which is given to me. That is the 0th index. This index is going to be what? That is going to point to the very first character of this particular string. And the ending index is going to be what? I have to keep a check where exactly I want to end, because we'll be starting from the first character. One by one we'll be proceeding further. So definitely that's going to check the very first character, and then the first two characters, and the first three characters, and the first four characters. That's how it's going to proceed, right? So that's what I'm trying to do over here, because I already know the first index that I have. That is going to be starting from the 0th place of this particular string. But I want to keep increasing my ending index. And that's the reason I have kept this as end index plus 1, because I don't want to do the same I cannot, just make a index first and the last at the same location. I have to keep it as plus 1, so that I will be able to break that from this particular whole string. And that's what it's going to do. In Java, what's going to happen is, this is going to be my index first, that's going to the first place, and the end is going to be the last location. But end is going to be exclusive, it's not inclusive. So that's the reason I will be only getting in between, starting from the first till the last, but the last is not inclusive. that index is not inclusive. That's going to give me the substring over here. For example, if I'm passing the value as 1 and 3 for the word Leetcode, then I will be getting the return as LEE. I'm sorry. If this is going to be my 0 and 3, then I will be getting that L, 0, 1 and 2. Third index is not something which is going to be included. This is an inclusive function. Okay. All right. So let's proceed further. And now that I've got the check, then what I need to do is that I have to check that whether the pool of words is basically containing this check word or not. And what else I have to check? So this is the very first condition that I have to check, that whether the word which I have created is basically present inside of this particular pool of words or not. And next thing I have to check is that I will be just calling the helper method once again, and this time I'll be passing the string which I have, and the index which I need to pass is that index plus 1. I have to go for the next location so that I can check for the further words which can be possible from the next index. And the same thing that I have to pass is the pool of words. If these two conditions are met, then I have to return as true. And I will be keep on doing till the end of the loop. And then at the end, if it is not possible, then definitely have to return this as false. All right. So what is the value which is coming from this helper method? That is something we have to return. I have to simply pass the string. Index is going to be the starting as 0, 1, and the pool of words is going to be the pool of words. Let's try to run this code. Alright, so there is some compilation error which is coming. Let's try to fix it. Okay, so this is saying that pool of words, this particular place. We have to check whether this is present inside of it or not. And let's try to run the code now. Okay, so it's saying wrong answer. It's returning false in all the present cases. Okay. So what we are doing is we are just starting from the for loop. We are getting the substring from the index and the end location, and we are checking the pool contains whether this is present, and the helper is passing the index string index. Oh, okay. So the index is going to be constant for all the cases, and it should not be index plus 1. It should be end plus 1, because index is going to be the constant. We are incrementing the value of end, and that has to be incremented every single time when going for the next particular location. So that's what we have to pass on over here. And that is what going to be end. All right, let's try to submit and run the code. So it is passing all the test cases, and let's try to submit the code. So this is giving us the time limit exceeded, and that's what we want, and we just have to optimize this whole particular code. So as of now, that you can see that the only value which is getting changed in every single particular recursion call is the index value, and that's what we have to store. For every particular index, we just have to keep on memorizing the things, that whether for that particular index, whatever the arrangements that we are getting is returning the true value or not. And that's what we want to keep on memorize for every single recursion call. And how we can do that? We can create a Boolean array. And that is going to be the wrapper class over here. The reason is because that we want to create true and false value inside of this memorize array. But the wrapper class is going to give us the advantage that for the non-occurred values, it's going to be having the value as null. If I'll be using the primitive class, that's not going to be able to because by default in primitive classes it's going to be having the value as false. Okay, and that's what we want to pass over here. That's going to be taken inside of this helper method, and that's going to be boolean memo, and if the memo at that particular index is not null, then I have to return the memo at that particular index. Okay, and if the for that particular given condition, if the value at that particular memo index, whatever I'm getting, I have to put that as true. Because if the given condition is getting satisfied, it is having the true value, that is the word is present inside of this pool words, and also it is returning the value from the helper method as true, then definitely I have to put that value as true over here. Otherwise it's going to be false. And also at this particular location I have to pass on the value as whatever the value I'm getting. Let's try to submit the code. I hope this is gonna work. Let's accepting the test cases. Let's try to submit it. Alright, perfect. So this is passing all the test cases over here and it is perfectly fine. So basically let's try to analyze the code once again. So basically we are doing whatever the thing that we have discussed so far, we are doing the same thing. We are just starting from the first index of the string and we are keep on trying to create the words, and based on the words getting created from this particular character, we are trying to check if the word created is present inside the pool of words or not. If the word is present, then definitely we have to make it as a true, and we have to check for the subcases. If those subcases are also getting passed, and that means we are having the perfect condition, and that's what we are trying to memorize based on the index value, and that's what we are returning. I hope this makes sense. I was able to explain the question well. If you have any kind of a doubt, you can definitely put that in the comment box, and see you next time guys. Thanks for watching.